Live Like an Athlete. This is Michelle. Today we're going to talk about power. Power comes from the core, and we know that in martial arts, every time we twist, that's where the power comes from, not just for the arm. But when we're walking, power comes from our spring in our step. For example, if Michelle's just walking across the room, go ahead. You can subtly see that she's bouncing off the ball of her foot. I'm going to do it in an exaggerated way. So here's an exaggerated form of what Michelle is doing. Now, what a lot of people do, Michelle, is they end up, especially as they get older, they don't have that spring in their step anymore, and the hip flexors are starting to drag the leg forward, causing all kinds of problems. So there's a couple stretches we can do right away, what we call these PRE-HAB, prehabilitation, so that we never develop those problems. Michelle, the first one is to just extend your legs standing, your feet together, or that's fine, just knees straight. And with your knees straight, just imagine your chest is going toward the ceiling. Keep your breath. Good. And feel the stretch in your lower back and your hip flexors. There's a muscle called your PSOAS that actually connects your lower back to your legs. And this is one of the best stretches for that muscle. Good. And so, Michelle, you're sitting at a desk all day, is that correct? So that's a really good stretch to do if you're always like this. Another one, a lot of people when they walk, their ankles don't move correctly. Their ankles don't get a full dorsiflexion or plantar flexion. So this easy stretch, Michelle, just drag that foot and then just kind of lead right. So as you're bending your supporting knee, this ankle, you're stretching tendons and ligaments that normally aren't stretched. So this is another one that we should do. Try your other side too. So this is a really good, easy stretch. You can do this at your desk, just stand up. And it's a way to get those ankles to get a little bit more mobility. So then you'll be able to walk with that spring in your step. Another problem, Michelle, is that some people, as they get older, they lose strength in their tibialis anterior, the muscle here. So you did that just there, just raise your toes, that's right. Raising the toes just strengthens that muscle so that when you step, you're not stepping like this, but you're raising your toes on each step, which again gives you more of that spring and power in your step. Because again, every time you move, for example, if you were sitting in a chair and you stand up, just like in the weight room, we stand up, we move really slow. But for power, when you stand up, you use speed, right? So that's what we're talking about, that spring, that stretch recoil, in order to get power in everything that we do. Because as we get older, we start to lose power. All right, so let's recap a little bit. So the stretch, and then this stretch creates the ability to get that stretch reflex to have more power and more spring, go ahead as you're walking forward, more spring in your step as you're moving. And if we can get some of these movements early before they become a problem, then these stretching exercises can lead to greater power, speed, and then as we get older, we won't find ourselves moving like this, but we'll always have that spring. Michelle, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week on Live Like an Athlete.